Good morning, good morning. How are you?
Oh, hi. Oh, just setting up the stream. I think I have it going on all places. I'm just trying to make sure that there's no echoes anywhere.
Okay, let's see. I hope there's a screen there.
I do like the new screen location.
Where is it? I can't remember.
It's the
I remember moving it. I remember moving it for pictures this week, but what did I do with it? Where did I put it?
What did I do with it? You put it like I guess like on the wall behind where everyone usually hangs out at.
See, that was like Canessa from the past was like, you idiot are not gonna remember to like refresh the scene on Saturday. Like Saturday's Canessa is not gonna remember. So I'm gonna do you a solid, girl. And I'm gonna put the screen up and because I know you're gonna forget. And now Saturday Canessa is like, yeah, you got us. Thank you. Because the screen is always in the way for like cute beach pictures. It just doesn't look good.
Right. But I mean I do like the new location. I do. It's like for at least for me whenever like because I'm usually facing away from the screen because I don't want to look at the screen if I'm streaming. So I have a better view.
Yeah, it'll be nice to mix it up a little bit. See how we like it here. See if it's better set up.
But yeah, good morning, Vanessa. I guess good afternoon to me and good morning and afternoon to some of you here, all of you here. Good evening. Welcome to week 158 of Community Building Decentraland. Uh, Last week's party was kind of fun. Had a lot of fun. 2 whole days.
Yeah, that I think that was really nice. I think it went really well. Thank you everybody for showing up. Um, yeah, we I think we got some shoes to send out. We got a lot of shoes.
Lastrom sent me like a confirmation that like a bunch of cues were sent out. Let me take a look at his
Oh,
last.
my brain wasn't thinking. Yes, people were getting them by the end of the party, weren't they?
No, no, but I mean even like past that, like there were a few people that didn't get it, and so I guess like later on they may have. At least right here I'm seeing 59 total transactions, 59 unique users. So so I guess like all the wallets that may have clicked on the birthday cake may have gotten one, but still like if you didn't get yours and you were at the party, please let us know. We'll send you a pair. Big shout out to Brandon for the shoes and Jared for the base model. Thank you, thank you. Um, and yeah, so good to see all of you here today. Good morning, Rustan, and what's up, old guy? Good morning, good afternoon, toxic waifu. Hello. I believe I'm all set up on all the streams, and Scat Lion is here in world with me.
Nice.
So,
I'm working on logging in. We'll see how it goes.
so okay, so yesterday at the Meta Beast roaming party, the funkiest shit happened. I don't know if it was like one of our friends just trying to make a hee hee, but like there was like a giant pair of shoes like right outside of the Meta Beast hideout and like on like Foundation Road, like, and we were all
Like somebody was
like,
wearing them or somebody deployed it like on a scene?
I don't know, like it was just a pair of shoes that were there, and like I mean they had no colliders and we can run through them, but they were just there, and they were giant.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know. It could have been if it were like malicious, it could have been not cool because like there was a point where like I guess whoever was doing it or whatever was happening, they like turned and that like would block the screen like in between like where the dance floor is and the screen. So that could like ruin a experience in the future, maybe.
Okay, let me explain the shoes. Meta Tiger gave Julia Sky the option to select some wearables she would like, and one of the things she wanted was this cool wizard outfit, and it's a lovely one. It was from like the Fidelity banking thing. And in Julia's defense, she was very, very vocal in chat talking about her shoes and being like, "Hey, like, does anyone mind if I wear these shoes?" And she did stay outside to the for the most part. So she was trying her best to not be a griefer while, being slightly a griefer. But those I reported those shoes to support like last year, and I find it very frustrating. But I've also now commented on it in the I found their post in the forums. Anku has threatened the submitter that he'll, invalidate the whole collection if they don't fix those shoes. But anyway, Julia was not trying to be a griefer, and she was doing her best to make sure everyone was happy, and she wasn't upsetting anyone in chat for what it's worth.
Okay, so now it's all coming together. But like I
But yeah,
just didn't know that
oh yeah,
that's
when you
what
first
those
see it,
two
you're just like,
did.
"What on earth is this? This is the weirdest bug ever." And it is a really weird bug. And the shoes too, they're lying backwards. It has such Gulliver Travels vibes, or like you're a wizard who has slain a giant and you're now stuck in between its feet. It's very like the vibe of the shoes. And it's a shame because the wearable itself, like it is the best looking wizard outfit in Decentraland. If it wasn't for the fact that those shoes broke with SDK 7 or the new client, because apparently Hugh Pow could check it out because Toxic, as she tweeted about the surprise giant shoe party, Hugh Pow's confirmed that they don't look giant if you're using the Bevy client. So there is some kind of something weird about whatever they in client the DCL client foundation client that has broken what I assume wasn't broken when Anku approved it, since Anku's pretty thorough.
That's weird.
Oh,
We need a list of all the wearable glitches like that like try to remember in the early like the alpha client we were trying to break it, so we were trying to wear every single wearable, like the Doki faces that still I think don't show up. We should try to like I don't know, just rotate through every single outfit and be like, which one will break it?
right. Okay, like that's actually like really hilarious. I love it that that it was Julia. Oh man. But hmm, that's so funny. I should have looked in chat. I guess I was like just busy looking elsewhere within like the production chat and was like, "What's going on? Did we fuck up somewhere? What did you deploy something, Make?"
So was it on the road or like next?
Well,
Oh, trying to-
yeah. So Jared just said that like Julia was like being nice and like made sure that she like went over to the road and faced the road so like the tip of the shoes would be facing the road. But they were huge. I did not like when if someone told me, "Hey, can I wear these bugged shoes?" I'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah.
sure."
When you first see it, you're like, those aren't shoes. That's walls. You're surrounded by walls. You can't tell they're shoes until you take your camera and zoom out like all the way. But yeah, she got close enough to the building she could hear the music, but then she stayed outside. And then I think at one point she did just forget that if he turned around, she was gonna be. But I sent her new wizard wearables, so she can now wear the like Wizard of Life outfit, and she's, happy.
Gotta try to find her one of those Father Finn mythics. Do you know which ones I'm talking about? or is it like a robe
I
here? I'm gonna
Yeah,
look it
his
up.
I'm not
religious
sure which one
robe.
you're talking about.
Is it a religious robe? I thought it was a wizard robe.
It's like the Pope or something. I don't know. Because, his name is Father Finn, and he's always like, he comes off as a very religious person, and I don't think that's 100% accurate, but I don't know. They don't seem
So
wizardy.
Father Finn recently brought to my attention that he's not religious, and the only reason he has that name is he like stole it from another person he used to know online. Like he just one day he needed a screen name for a new platform and he couldn't think of one, so he was like, I don't know, Father Finn. I know that's a name I know. Ironically, given my current situation with names, our most beloved Father Finn stole his name, his identity from someone else.
I mean, I did too, so, it's just the way it goes.
Or he kept you are keeping the name alive, the alias alive.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I found them. The blue holy regalia.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think this may be less wizardy and more popey.
Didn't Bacon Grease have the Pope outfit? Bacon Grease.
Where's bacon grease? I miss bacon grease.
I know.
Well,
I
if you
think
go
I've
to the Knights of
seen them.
Antrim's Discord, you can talk to him because he posts there daily.
Oh, where?
Knights of Antrim. He
Oh,
posts in their
nice,
Discord
nice,
daily.
Are they gonna
nice. So
come?
he still
Like,
comes.
are they gonna get their scene functional again?
They got a bunch of help from the SDK17, but it still wasn't like ready to be actually usable. And then Matt is working on it. I actually should go check because some number of days ago last month, I think he might have been quasi joking when I was like, "Well, when will Knights of Antrim be ready?" He said like 9 days and 6 hours, and that has proven to be not true because it's been like 10 days. But I think I asked him today like, "How about now?" So, but it seems like they're closer than they are for like it's getting there. It should be playable at some point this year, hopefully.
Well, I just have to shout out and I don't know who exactly is responsible for it, if it's all Dr. Curlo or Dr. Curlo and his team, but like they redid Sugar Club in SDK7. So I'm wondering if Knights of Antrim or Exodus or any of the other places that want to come back, like it's pretty cool to see that we have the help, the support that, hopefully could get them. I think Exodus is a different issue. It's a transaction issue that Decentraland has to fix, but um yeah, like did anybody get the chance to see the Sugar Club build again?
A friend
I
of
have not.
mine sent me some of the video of him kind of walking around it, because obviously I can't access it myself. But I did get a little peek at what was cooking, and it looked like it's come a nice way. Though it did sound like they said to me that it was going to be in a different location, which I only mentioned just because Sugar Club was kind of mean to me when I put up their POI removal. So if it's going to be in a new location, maybe they'll put up their own POI removal this time.
Yeah, I don't know where it'll be, but I mean, I didn't even know that they were on Foundation land originally. I didn't know that until like the POI thing came up. Right now it's in Dr. Krillo's world. So it's like Dr. Krillo dot, DCL.eth if you want to go check it out. And what I love the most about it is when you go in immediately, you log in and you go, and it immediately has a sign explaining that like this was an OG build. This is like trying to recapture what it was, because I think that right there is the explanation that we need in so many builds. Like I wish that there was a pop-up that you walk onto a parcel of land and there's the option to have like a pop-up like, hi, welcome, you just came to Kness's land. I even have like last updated, like it would be so cool. Anyway, I digress, but that is really a cool piece just to have the explanation of what Sugar Club was for new people that they're like, I don't know, why is this important? It'd be pretty cool. Does anybody remember the drinks, because then a couple people have commented on the post, like, does anybody remember what would happen with the drinks? Dr. Krillo's asking me if I know that. I know the donuts. Go upstairs and you get the donut automatically put around you. Do you remember that?
I have no idea what you're talking about with these drinks, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't remember them either. I just assume it's something like Frankie's Tavern where you go up and you click it and then it like is on your avatar or something.
Well, you can do that. That actually, that functionality, at least at some point last year, which I didn't realize until much too soon, but you can actually also do that in Genesis Plaza. Like there was one day I came into the Gen Plaza and there were just drinks all over the diving board and everything, and I was like, "What, guys? Like, what new things happening? Like, what cool thing have they submitted?" And someone was like, "Jared, like this is the most ancient of Decentraland technology that you can just do down at the bar." Blew my goddamn mind. I'll tell you that.
I agree. I mean, I was in Decentraland already for like a year and a half or something until like I went down there and I'm like, oh, what? This is clickable? Oh, I can pick it up? I could. So yeah, which kind of gets me thinking. I should have picked up a drink during like any event that has happened in the past at Genesis Plaza. Never used that feature.
I'm amazed how many features there are in the Creator Hub. Like, if anybody has the chance to listen to Dr. Krillo's office hours, they're Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday it's 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern or PST. So it's too early for my brain to like actually take in anything. But a really good time zone for around the world. And then Thursday at 2 o'clock. And he like I think if anybody has a question in advance, you can ask him, and then he'll probably like cover it that next week. Because last week I asked him about a button that I wanted to create like buttons that you could type in a code and it would open a door. And I like asked Chat GPT. It's like, yes, I can do that, and it showed me how to do it with code. And I was like, no code. And then it was like, okay, and it showed me how to do it. And then I went to try to do it in Decentraland, and it's like, Chat GPT, you don't know what you're talking about, because it was like, click the blah 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 button on the top right of the screen, and it's just not there. So then I was like, Dr. Krillo, I have an idea. I don't know if it's possible. And then he worked through it, did it in advance, and then like showed people how to do it. So um I think it's way more powerful than like we realize. Just hearing, because Nico E was in it, and then he was like, oh yeah, we can do that. So gotta just think of like the things that we want to try to do. Like, all right, what can we make it do? And then how can you guys make it do that for us?
I like it. I like it. I mean, I don't know the how technical this could be, but like, I mean, the ability to, let's say, run two different streams on the same LAN, just two different rooms. Like, let's say the downstairs of Cantina has one stream running, and it's like relaxing music or whatever, chill DJ. Then you go upstairs, it's like the party room, and there's a different stream up there.
Yeah, I don't know if you could. I mean, one way is to like deploy differently, like leave a hole in the scene, because I'm looking at the like Cantina on Blender. You could just deploy a different build and try to like make it look like it belongs there. That's the only way I've thought of, like, okay, this is how we can make that work. It's just
Mm.
different build. It looks like it's the same, but it's just different. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, it would have to be the stream keys coming into the parcel, but then you'd have to like isolate just that one screen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't even know if it's technically possible still because like in the past it's been tried like and I think few people have succeeded at it. They're just very technical, you know, like Dogman or any other of the big smart devs in the past. By the way, speaking of Dogman, Should hit him up sometime.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him for a while. He's somewhere on the move in the planet. Um,
I think last time he popped into this space, like he was like in Japan or
oh,
something.
that's right. I was like, where was he? Yeah, he was, and I think he met some of our friends over there. That's cool.
Or at least was planning to. Or I don't know, I can't remember exactly. Sorry, I'm like eating a bagel here with strawberry cream cheese. Delicious.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
It is, and I'm cracking myself out with an espresso, a Cuban one, a cafecito. Canessa, you never made it in world, huh?
No, I'm waiting
Or
for a
have you been deploying?
Wi-Fi password to see what. Yeah, so I am not here.
By any chance, were you working like along with Dr. Krillo in the last office hours?
I was following along, but then it's um I didn't no, I wasn't. But what was he doing? I think he was doing something different for the first part, but then going over like the button after that. What was he doing? I can't remember what was he doing that, but kind of doing like a recap, I think.
Recap from last week. I believe last week he was trying to do like help you with like an escape room.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he did something else at the beginning. I can't remember. Oh, he was showing us the sugar club. That's what it is. Showing us all the functionality that he put in there, which is really actually like so genius to have one example build created by Foundation to like show off what you can do in the Creator Hub. Like now that I'm like, why didn't we do this before? This is like so perfect. Because you could walk in there and be like, well, dude, these lights are amazing. How do I do that? And then you could have like a little button to click and go to his tutorial on how to do that the way it was. But I don't know. I mean, like the fact that he's asking us about like what is the donut, what is the drinks, he might not have like real close contact the with the original creators. It might just be like it's open source. He's got the files and he's doing his own stuff with it.
Yeah, that's kind of something, a question that kind of popped in my head. I mean, it would be genius to have someone for this specifically, like just start like contacting old landowners and like recreating their scenes, updating them in SDK7. Like, hey, like we did this big shift, but like, sorry about that. Here's a build converted in SDK7. I did my best to recreate what you had.
So
Come
then
back.
how would you pick which ones? Because like to me, you almost need to put them in a specific historical district then and have it very clearly stated like this is a historic build, because otherwise if you're like this is the sugar club and people go there and there's no parties, there's no events, then they're going to be like, well, this isn't cool. So like it would be cool just to have it like saved somewhere.
Yeah, true, true. My thoughts were more like giving the landowner the build and having them like deploy it or, do whatever, but that would honestly be too much. Your idea is so much better.
Well, I just think a lot of the original landowners, they're just not, they're done, they're like on to other things.
But you never know when they will come back. Oh my God. Sorry, I've been like inside just like smelling some like loud somewhere. Like I've been looking for it. Like, did I bring weed inside or something? And no, there's nothing, but it's like my fingers. They still smell like it.
Hmm. Well, a big jet just flew over, so I had to like mute myself.
What kind of jet? Can you identify it? Military?
Military, definitely military.
Definitely military. That's the only thing that flies over me. Uh, I mean, we get a whole bunch of boring shit in the sky here where I live, except for, I mean, I've been getting maybe like I've maybe seen them like maybe every 2 weeks or so. Like, I see a thruster coming back into orbit from like a SpaceX launch. La- Last night I was outside and yeah, you just see like a big streak of fire coming in from like the northwest, I believe. And at first I was like creeped out, but then I started like kind of like checking. Like every time I see that, I like just type on Google like SpaceX launch or whatever the fuck, and like usually it's within the timeline. Like with I would say like within like a 20-minute timeline that like it launched and to when I saw it,
That's
or
crazy.
not launch, but like when they were preparing to launch and getting everything like the T minus countdown and all that shit.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we live in the future. We truly do.
Okay,
Good morning.
made it in. Let's see. Where is this screen?
well,
Frozen.
well, inside, I will have you know that we have Jim Cedric in the house. He's chilling. We have goalie. We have Scat and M. And
Well, I definitely didn't just freeze as soon as I stepped on land. Oh no, here it's okay. It's okay. Look, I don't even want to say those words out loud. Yay! Oh yeah. Okay, I remember putting
hey,
the screen here. That's interesting. The view is
so
better.
you were mentioning art build or something like that. What are you plotting?
I was mentioning what?
Like the reason maybe why you moved the screen or like was it for like an art build or
Oh, I wanted to get like a pretty view of the ocean. I was gonna take some
uh,
video, and then I don't think I think I did a little bit, but not much. But um, yeah, like if I want to get a picture of the cantina and the screen is there, it's just this giant black box. And I think all of us know like that's a screen, but if you want it, if it's yeah, if you didn't know that's a screen, you'd be like, well, that's ugly. So yeah, it's so pretty here. I just love palm trees. I'm like still entertained by this place.
oh wow, I'm sorry. I was talking and I was muted.
I was like, that
I
was
was
the longest silence I think we've had in a while.
brought to you by Dr. Drip. Wait. Um, but I was like saying that like what's taller, the lighthouse or the CBD one year or well CBD party build?
I think the party build. I think there's I Madamus is the one that placed that. I think the party build. I know he could. There's more land on that, so I know he could have gone higher, but I'm not sure. It does kind of seem like even. I love that you can see the
Well,
house from the distance, and it actually looks like weathered and old from a distance. It looks really cool.
right? If only you could like see the animations of like the light from a distance, that'd be really cool. Um, but okay, like it looks even, but this is like only from like where you can stand. Like I think if you got to the very tip of the lighthouse, that may be taller.
Yeah, well, I definitely put that tip as far up as I could go. It was like, all right, this is going to determine everything. So I put the tip of the lighthouse there first, and then I built around it. I was like, all right. I think I
So
could make
so
it work.
then so then if you're looking at the screen, to the left of the CBD build, there's another massive build. And I think it may rival your lighthouse. What do you think? What are your thoughts about this?
Which one? The Burj Hotel or not Burj? No, it is Burj.
It, well, I'm talking. It's like out, like past the CBD build, like to the left. It looks like I don't know. It looks like some sort of like alien spaceship or some shit.
Is it new?
I don't know. I've never seen that before. Maybe I'm just not very observant.
I don't know. Are you in the lighthouse or like where are you seeing it?
I'm at the top of the lighthouse, yeah.
Okay, let me
But
run up there.
yeah, you'll determine this. I don't know. I think it's maybe just as tall, or
The Are you talking about the CBD build or something else?
the no the okay. Jim says alien spaceship. Where?
We should put
Yeah,
the
I would.
Independence Day spaceship or Thanos's spaceship. That would be a good one.
Okay, so I'm looking out,
Oh yeah,
uh, like
yeah,
northeast.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
one's been
thing.
there a while because when we had it looked really good with the Death Star. I know behind it, it was like yeah, it actually looks like it totally belongs there. I love this lighthouse light. I made it so that it would just like blast you every time it goes around. And then every time I'm up here, it like blasts my screen and I'm like, damn it, like this is really uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, like I did that. I did that on
I
purpose.
did that.
I did that. I'm like, why did I do that?
Uh, your creation has turned against you. And then what is that over there?
Is that La Liga land?
Yeah, actually, I'm seeing it right now over the trees. It says Liga. Yep. I
Yeah, that
forget
looks
how like
nice.
I forget how like great like La Liga like the build is. Are they in SDK7?
I don't know. I feel like Risk helped them or something, but I don't know.
I don't think most of the builds in Vegas District are SDK7.
Badness. They kind of should be. Let's see. I'm looking in the space. I see Mariana. Good morning, Mariana. Good morning, Dr. Drip. Lady Never Scared. Good to see you. Mm, Steve Sai, my friend. A big shout out to Steve. He performed at our 2-year party last week. I believe he was our second performer on Saturday. Yes, he was. He was our second performance on Saturday.
That was so fun. I'm so glad that people came together and did that. Because I don't know what is the next event we've got. We've got game night coming up.
Yeah, game night the like 19th through 20th or something. There's like I feel like there's more than one night, isn't there?
I don't know. I mean, it only shows it to me every time I log in, so I don't know why I don't know it. But
I still don't know what it's gonna be.
Hopefully they unveil some games that aren't just word search. That'd be cool.
Oh,
I've
that's
listened to Ready Player One like 3 times in the last 2 weeks because it's the Book of the Month Club and I have some kind of mental illness. But I feel like those games would be like way cooler and less like clunky and weird if they were like the UI was presented to you in like a handheld format. Like if if when you went to go play Tetris, you pulled out like an old school Game Boy. I think that would just be much cooler than you go stand on a giant pedestal to Tetris because like no one's ever played Tetris in their lives on some kind of weird giant platform, you know? Or am I just like being too? demanding. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be way cooler. Like if you're going to do the word cross, or you're doing like a word search, you pull up like an old school like your third grade little book or like a newspaper where you might find those in the real world. I think would just be a cooler gaming experience than these weird giant podiums.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could just even be the next step to their development, creating kind of an animation that will like put you like if you're doing word search, it'll take you from your 3D avatar and put you like over top of a board or whatever.
Yeah, I just want to see little hands holding a Nintendo Game Boy while I play my Tetris. If I must be playing Tetris in the metaverse, that I think would be the way to do it. But
Let's bring Angry Birds to the metaverse.
You know what I think
you
we
know,
need is like cooperative collaborative building, whatever that means exactly, but like we need little parcels of land that everybody could go and build on. Like or even like a screen. Like if there was a piece of land and there's like a chalkboard where you could go and write a message and then the next person could come and like add to yours or totally delete it and add their own. Or I'm just thinking like Minecraft, like the excitement when you're just exploring and all of a sudden you see something. Like the other day I was at a Illagers outpost and I was like, okay, I got to run away from here because they're gonna kill me and I don't really want to fight, just want to leave. And it was in the middle of the desert, but then I'm like, what's that on the ground? And I saw a shadow on the ground, and it's like, no, there should be no shadow on the ground. Like, what's up? Like something's in the air, and I look up and it is a giant pyramid that somebody just built in the air and it was amazing. Like but it's so fun, the discoverability. Like we can't do that in Decentraland the same. It's got to be like, well, like Sin, you deployed on your land, or Jared deployed on his land. But imagine if there were a couple parcels throughout the map that like anybody could just build on, and not like build through the creator hub, but just like you walk on the parcel and maybe you have like four choices of colors for blocks and then you can build whatever you want, because like obviously obviously like the first thing people are going to draw, there's actually like a thing that in like the open world where if you give people the ability to draw freely, they call it time to penis. And like how much time will pass before somebody draws a penis. So anyway, the
Yep,
first thing they're going to
yep.
draw is that. After that, we get to go, actually make some cool shit. But it would be so funny because I think we'd go back and we'd check on those parcels like, oh, I'm just gonna see what did people put on Sin's land today, and like, yeah, I don't know if that would be possible. I feel like Mean Green Doge and Toxic and like the crew could put something like that together, but that'd be cool. It'd be fun.
Damn it. I didn't know that it was down to a science the whole time to penis thing. I slightly almost like feel studied now.
What can I say? You guys are kind of predictable.
It's not
Uh,
fair. But like totally, like I mean, if like if I were like just running around on the Central Land and all of a sudden I came across like a wall and I could like graffiti on it, I mean, the first thing I would do would most likely be draw a penis shaped thing. But yeah, the second thing will be very important and very profound. So profound that I haven't even thought of it yet. Keep that in mind.
yeah, like oh, you know what? Gosh, I should just keep my mouth shut and like find a way to do the tech. But I was in Boise, Idaho a few weeks ago. Not the like if if somebody says they're going to Boise, in my mind, it's like a town surrounded by potatoes. It doesn't seem like super cool. I was really wrong. Boise is a really cool place. Maybe it's because I live in the middle of nowhere that I'm like, wow, Boise has a lot of culture. But it was pretty cool. And there was this one spot. It was what was it? Freak Alley, and it's just this really narrow brick alley that they decided years ago to like let professional graffiti artists like create art in it. So it's just this really cool, I don't know, 2 block alley of just crazy, amazing, beautiful art. So that would be so cool if we had a freak alley where it was like, what if it was even like collaborative where you had the freedom to draw on it, but then once you drew there, it stayed there for like a week or something. So people didn't just, like if Rustan went and did like some kind of beautiful painting in our virtual freak alley, like it could stay there for a little bit, but it would always be changing. And like people, yeah, like then after his is after the week goes by, somebody else could draw. Like that would be so cool. But there's the idea, guys. Putting it out in the universe. If anybody knows how to make that happen, make it
I'm
so.
trying to I'm trying to think if it was like Judas that like then this is like a long time ago, like early 2022, maybe like late 21, where I think it was him that made some sort of like graffiti wall for on the Decentraland where like you could go up to a wall and kind of like start painting on pixels or some shit. It,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that kind of like, but it must not have been around very long because I think we would have really done a lot with that.
well, I don't think he like went too far with it or perhaps maybe it was like he worked on that for like a project and like was not allowed to like disclose any of the code or whatever. It was work to him, maybe. Because like I know a lot of like features have like always gone away like that. Like I feel like few like cool things could be done for like big brands coming in, but then you don't really see it after.
Yeah, what about for Art Week? What if there was collective collaborative wall to sign for everybody? Like at the crypto conferences, like at GDC there was a wall where you could you they it was like a specific theme. It was like write your best tech advice. So I may or may not have drawn like the Decentraland logo and then wrote like, did you turn it off? Did you plug it in, unplug it and plug it back in? I didn't draw them in the same place, so we're not incriminated should this be listened to at a later date. And then at ETH Denver, they're actually like I think everybody's favorite booth. ETH Denver, it was like a basically a high school locker situation. Like they had lockers, they had the Polygon class of 2025, and then everybody would just sign the lockers or sign inside the lockers.
Theme. It
Or
was
if you
like
had a sticker for your brand, you'd put a sticker there. But I think it's like a cool way to leave your mark. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how hard that would be, but that'd be really, 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 really cool.
I mean, for all we know, that like this could also be like in the GitHub, and we're just like, or I mean, at least me speaking for myself, I'm just too dumb to find it or implement it.
Well, I wonder if even like a third party, like there's other websites that are like collaborative art. I wonder if you could just do the art piece there. Somebody would just follow, like they'd go to that website, and then that's where the art would live. But then somehow you stream the image of that to Decentraland, so it wouldn't be like all the crazy coding um, on the land. I don't know. But I don't know. How would you like live stream an image into Decentraland? I'm sure with coding it's all possible. I'm sure coders love hearing us like, do you think we could do this? And they're like, oh my gosh, guys, I was doing that 3 years ago.
Yes, yes. They're just screaming in the background, like, you imbecile! I've been doing this. I'm actually the founder of it. But
Yeah.
that,
Uh,
it, that then maybe it's like, give me a 250,000 and I will do it. Lol. Hey, we have a nice room here. I see the room filled up a little bit. We've just been lightly chatting today. Welcome, Uncle Hoddle. I see that you pulled up. Thank you, thank you. And yeah, as always, anyone is welcome to join in the conversation, talk about any future events that you may be having, or chat about like a past event that you had in the past week or month or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, just throwing the invite out there. If not, probably Kanessa and I will keep it to an hour and then move on into the rest of our Saturday.
I have a thing I want to talk about, but every time I'm ready to oh, this is a good spot in my work to like stop for a minute and talk about it. I feel like I have one bar of shitty. Like right now, you can't understand me, right?
I hear you.
So we can.
Oh, sweet. Because I keep going from like 3 bars of 5G down to 1 bar of LTE, and I'm like, I hear you guys crystal clear, but I suspect if I stop to talk, but I don't know. I just to like put a little button and bookend on the great saga of Jared being banned for the first 2 weeks when it happens. Like, well, Jared, you just gotta wait until Kim gets back. You know, like no one can really, no, it's nothing will happen. And just wait patiently. And I just feel very frustrated, like how hard it is to get an answer to the question, like what or who do you like? What process or who do you speak to if you feel as though Kaze has needs to be held accountable and has not acted, and you just can't get an answer to this question. Like I can get an answer to like an unrelated part of the message, like well, Kaze can DM whoever he wants. To saying he won't DM you isn't really true. I'm like, well, that wasn't my question. My question wasn't can Kaze DM me whenever he wants. My question was, who do you go to if you think you need to hold him accountable? And it's just very frustrating how difficult it is to get an answer to that question. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Kim had lots of things to get to in her first week back from her vacation. But I see her on Twitter, like, responding to Zom complaining about a thing and other things. And it just makes it very hard to not become, seething with rage, frustrated, which, is probably not the best way to live my life, but certainly a feeling I've grown accustomed to. And I just feel like there has to be someone who knows the answer to the question, like who, like is Kaze in charge? Is it like, is like if the answer is just no one, you're fucked. Okay, fine, but like surely someone could just answer the question, either who it is, what the process is, or no one,
I,
right?
I mean, that was pretty much the answer I was probably gonna give you. As far as my knowledge goes, is no one. You're fucked.
So, well, that's fine if there's no one who can hold them accountable, but surely the Decentraland can give that answer in one of the avenues, like in an official way, right? It's not like I'm not
No,
crazy for thinking they should be able to answer that question, right?
no. I mean, judging from past track records, I I wouldn't hold your breath.
I mean, I
And I
think
mean,
we all know I'm not very good at holding my breath and keeping it to myself, so don't worry, I won't.
but but yeah, I mean, these days are doing better. I can't speak for them because I mean I don't work for them, or nor do I know what their operations are like internally, what their conversations are like. Uh, but uh, but yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised and proud if someone kind of came out with a statement or whatever, or you know, spoke with you, because it takes, it would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I
So
don't know. But the sense seems is that there's just a certain amount of like if we ignore it long enough, it will go away. Oh, um, Oh, M is asking me what I had asked. M, I'd asked in response to Kaze banning me from the Discord, the Foundation Discord, for my response to him in my DMs when he unsolicitedly entered my DMs, which he knows I don't care for or like, or I'm going to protect. So and also, my actual full question was, could you please show me where, in terms of use or the Decentraland Discord rules, my DMs are governed and covered? That was part of my question, and then the follow up was like, and then who does one go to if you believe the head of support has acted, outside of the bounds of his role and not, and you've been unjustly treated? Who do you go to? Which the irony of the fact that that's a question Zom would like an answer to as well isn't lost on me. But it seems like a reasonable question. Just like, hey, where in the rules? What rule did I break in my DMs? Please highlight that for me. And then who would one go to if there was a if you disagreed with the head of support and his how he carries about his business. So I hope that clarified that. Sorry for not responding in DM, but I am driving around sort of ever so slowly.
It's good. But
But
yeah, man.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like Kim's going to be stopping by today, so I probably won't get an answer to that here at this time.
No, and I mean, I don't even know how to word this, but like, I mean, at some point you kind of have to just step aside for a little bit, let things cool off, I would say, and let them even like come to a conclusion before like, just don't come after them so much. Like that I feel like that makes people like not want to respond. Like personally, I would not respond to you.
Well, that's all well and good, but they get paid way too much money to not be able to answer simple questions like who is, what rule was broken, and who does one hold accountable. Those are very simple questions. Those aren't particularly complicated. So even if I ask them like an asshole, they should still have the professional ability to answer them. And I would also I had never asked, but I would like to know if they've ever offered their support any de escalation training. Because in my experience, both watching Kaze engage with other upset people and engaging with Kaze when upset, he only ever escalates a situation, um, which, isn't the best quality to have in your head of support.
I mean, I think there's just more. There could be more variety in languages. Like I understand that Kaze speaks English, but English is not his first, language. So he could take offense to more things opposed to like us joking around in text with another person like from the US, Canada, or whatever. English speaker. So
I mean,
yeah,
I think
I mean,
ultimately Kaze just doesn't want to admit to Yamel that he totally saw my name and laughed about it just days prior to threatening to ban me for it. I think honestly, there's a certain amount of just embarrassed about how incompetently he did his job and not wanting to own that to the to the executive director is my hypothesis for why he's just hoping it'll go away on some
I
level.
mean,
Since literally multiple
there's
Foundation
the key
employees saw it.
word, hypothesis. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
but I literally
you could
offered to sell
probably
him the
assume
name and
all
he's
you want,
threatening me
bro,
now.
but I mean, he has yet to even speak about it really. Uh, so I
No,
mean,
he
and
copy
you've
pasted
already
something else
tagged him
from the
many
roof
times,
room.
so I would just drop it to tell you the truth. Let it cool off and come back
I
later on
I
it.
think that that's very easy for you to say, but I recall when it was fresh, people were like, "No, you just have to wait for Tim," and now the story changes. So I think it's pretty reasonable for me to be frustrated with most of you for just kind of waffling on your position a little bit. I
I
do.
mean, I never really said, oh, you just have to wait for Kim.
No,
But
many did.
yeah, maybe not.
No,
But
many did is what I said.
oh, many. Okay, yeah. But in all honesty, I wouldn't even. I would have seen Kim being a better resource if she were here as it was happening because there would have been better communication. But I don't think there's anything that Kim at this point could do at now. It's just all damage control, to tell you the truth.
Oh,
That
so
and
you're saying
it's
I just
already.
need to make a scene in public and then I'll get properly communicated with. Okay. No, I just
I
have to
mean,
make too much damage that needs
I
control.
mean,
I see.
what would be the difference? You're already making a scene in public, so
Not really. I would argue that
uh,
I've said blasted very few tweets on the topic. I think that I
uh,
could do it. I think I could do a much better job
yeah,
of making
yeah. I think
Decentraland look bad. Actually, if I wanted to, if I really tried and wasn't trying to curb my seething rage, I could do a much better job. of making a scene in public.
I mean, I agree, but
Okay.
even like what is this? Like maybe a level one scene in public? Like, are we gonna start categorizing? I mean, I personally think a scene in public is a scene in public
Oh,
in general.
I would say this is
So
hardly a scene. This is a pretty polite conversation, though I do feel like you are
no, this is
trying
not.
to make it more combative.
No, this is not. Like, I'm not talking about this conversation here in general. I'm talking about like your actions for like ever since this happened,
I would
all this
argue,
happened. It has been.
your Discord server does not qualify as public, which is the place I went out of my way to keep the majority of my frustrations being articulated, since it's, I would say, not a public setting.
Mm,
Personally,
Vanessa, would you like to input on that one? I mean, I personally think it's a public setting, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't see there being much use in just like starting to determine whether a Discord's public or not. Like, I think it's just like there was an issue, uh, whether people, whatever side of the fence they're on. I think a lot of people didn't care for how it was handled. It would feel good to have some kind of resolution. I think most people in conflict, they want to have some kind of like closure on it. And I think maybe that closure is what you're missing and what you're wanting. I don't think you're gonna get it, to be honest. And I think uh like personally, I can't change other people. I just go have to like assume I can't change anyone. I have to decide, like, is this a place where I can grow and build, knowing that this is the setup. These are the, like, it's like poker. These are the hands you got, right? This is your deck. This is the admin of the Discord. These are the people, and like, that we're asking questions. I think at some point, every one of us have to decide: is this still a healthy place for us to be and build and stay? And it might be, but I think there's a good chance that at some point it won't be. Like, or not just like this place, but any community, any online, virtual, even in real life, anything you're a part of, when it no longer is healthy, you got to just make a decision. Like, are you going to be a part of it or not? Because um, I don't think you're going
yeah.
to
Unfortunately,
change.
in most of those settings, you don't spend an obscene amount of money on slowly becoming worthless items,
Yeah, I mean,
and then
it could be the same as your house, your neighborhood. If you've got a really shitty neighbor who makes life hell, you have to decide, like, can I live here, or like I spent, a lot of money on a house. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I think if you haven't gotten the answer by now, like, no answer is an answer. And I think it says a lot. Like,
I think that is a very disheartening answer from you on the take, but I see that you're prefer to just allow injustice to happen and move on.
no,
Fair
I'm
enough.
not
That is your
allowing
right
anything. I'm not like,
to tolerate injustice being happening and moving on. That is fine. That's your right. That's not unreasonable, I suppose, by all means.
I think it might just
Um,
not be the answer that you wanted to hear, and the answer that I think the ones in the community that were like, geez, you can get banned from a decentralized platform. That's
I,
different than we kind of understood it. I think that's just like it's a different answer than we wanted, but it's an answer.
it's something to work towards too. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe, but it's definitely a conversation to be had as well.
Well, if we're going to scale, we are going to have issues like crazy. Can you imagine it? Like, I mean, I don't know how many active users there are, but they're probably like mostly in this room. What if we had 10,000 users coming to that Discord? Like, uh, we're not ready as far as like a team that could handle that. I don't know. Like, what does Roblox do? What does, uh, you know, World of Warcraft do? What does Call of Duty do? Like, they don't have like people you know by name in the DMs. Like, we're still really, really small. I guess maybe this is like painfully pointing out how painfully small we are.
yeah, I would think that perhaps more people should be concerned that the foundation's workflow process is so unprofessional and quite contradicts literally the thing their daily reminders of we'll never DM you. Well, except for when we feel like it, and then we will pretend like these DMs are a support ticket and punish you accordingly for however you might decide to articulate yourself. I just think it's I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and it's disheartening to hear that the general consensus is like, well, until you make a proper scene, shouldn't expect anything until you become such a nuisance that damage control must be implemented to the point where you'll actually feel heard. It's kind of like wild to me that that's just the like consensus answer on what to expect or how to for being heard, and just getting an answer to a simple question is not until you reach the point of needing damage control.
I mean, I feel like you could get an answer a lot quicker if you were just chill about it in a way. Like I really all that stuff really pushes people away. uh like we're trying I understand, like, you say that, like, they're paid, yes, they should be answering this because they're paid, they're acting in an official capacity, but I mean, like, even like, let's just take all that away, and it's like, yeah, I I wouldn't want to answer. Like I said earlier, I see where Stan came up too.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt, but I have a few things to talk about, but one of them kind of connects to this. Like, we all totally hear you, Jared. Like, your points are very valid. Um, and what everyone else is responding with too, I think, is really valid as well. Responding with chill actions is, in my opinion, the best way to always go. But we all have to like remember that, like, the foundation is not perfect, and if we haven't figured that out by now after all these years, like, that's on us. They're just imperfect, and one major example of that is just this past month with the prom contest. I don't know if everybody knows this, but somebody at the foundation made a huge mistake and paid the prizes out in USD and not mana. So every winner was given like 5 times more what they were promised. And that's like our foundation runway money, you know? And so, like, that's a huge mistake. And thankfully, most, if not all, returned the difference, because it wasn't their money, you know? And I believe one person made a deal to do work in exchange for that amount. I don't know the full details, but this happened, and luckily, most of the people were good enough to return it, to fix the mistake that the foundation made. Um, like, they're imperfect, you know. Like, yes, there's guidelines that they say they're not going to DM you and stuff, but like, we're also kind of a family right here. We know Jared, we know Toxic Waifu, we know Kanessa, we know Sinful, you know, and like Kaze knows these people. And so, like, when something comes up, instead of like, doing some sort of formal way of doing things, we have the ability to contact each other like family. And I think, like, we don't have to like always uphold rules to an imperfect.
Literally, the only reason my DMs were even open for him to enter was because they're so shit at offering help to people. I had to open them to help a new person so we could DM.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating. Like, I just object to the premise that, like, because they knows I know he doesn't like me and that I don't care for him. There's not like, I think that the suggestion that like he's coming into like we're family and we're gonna have a chill chat isn't like a fair way. Like, it's not an honor. Like, not an aware of the dynamic
Right,
way
but
to
you said
express
that
his
he
enjoyment.
laughed when he saw your name. Like, you said that he
Yes, he
laughed.
made some. Yes,
And
he
that was
came
in
off as
world. That was
amused.
in world when he saw that and he
Yes,
laughed. The issue came up with the governance proposals, and that
I don't actually think there's any evidence that that's what they gave a shit about.
no, that's
As
like
far as
clearly what it was, because
no, it
it was
wasn't. I don't think
literally
that
the
is
day
clear
I
because
saw
the
that when
issue
I
came up
saw
when
the
we were
name
at
and the
prom.
governance proposal. I was like, what the hell?
No,
It
no,
was
no.
just like
I
yummy, yummy,
really, I
yummy.
don't. That's not that. I don't think there's any evidence to suggest they care about that at all. Because if they did care about that kind of thing,
But
people would have a
can
problem when
you
Alpha uses those
understand the
names to vote on
possibility
things.
that when he first saw your name in world, it was funny, and then when when
But
that name popped up in governance proposals, oh, this is a little bit more
if
serious. Is it possible for
if
a
I
human
thought like
being to see a change in difference in reaction?
sure, but I'm telling you that there's no logical reason to believe that because Yamel DM'd me during the pre-party of to the prom to ask me to change my name because his employees were finally using the pro software for once in their lives and be like, "Wait, Yamel, is that you?" And then he realized, "What? Why are so many people who work for me suddenly asking me if I'm in World? They should know I never log in." So I'm just
Right, but whatever the cause of it, there's a human change that can happen. So like pinpointing things on a specific person to react a certain way is, it's just like, we're not robots, you know. We're all full of faults, and like we make mistakes. And the foundation, especially, we've seen time and time and time and time again. I mean, the reason we had to shift to a client was because poor decisions were made in like 2018, you know. And like, it's just human beings fucking up
yeah.
consistently.
I just wanted to clarify because you seemed very certain that it is involved with the governance process, but
I personally
there's
believe
no
that's
reason to believe
why.
timeline that had anything to do with governance at all.
I personally believe that's why, because like when I first saw your name, I thought it was Yemel in World, and then I realized it was you when I saw you, and then Yemel follows me in World, so when it tells you someone is online, it says Yemel is online. Yemel is online. I'm like, oh cool, Yemel is joining more often, but no, that was you. And then I saw the governance proposal, and it was just like 20 proposals with Yemel's name on it, but it wasn't Yemel, but I thought it was. And just that confusion is enough to cause issues, in my opinion. And
Right.
that, for me, like, governance is serious. That's like a serious place. Like, we can't have like this like misnaming of like a person in the governance proposal.
Right,
Anyways,
but there's
like,
ample evidence
I
based on
hear
the
you,
fact that no
Jared.
one's
I
ever
hear
said
you
anything
completely.
about. Since Umelty already has posted lots of governance and commented in the governance under Alpha's use of that name, I think there's ample evidence to suggest that they don't care about people misrepresenting themselves in the governance tab, and it's far more to do with someone, with users, i.e., the foundation employees asking Yamel if he was logged in at the pre-party to prom, or getting screenshots of me having said something mildly out of pocket, and I don't know. And I also just think there's I think there's a misperception about like what percentage of people have any idea who Yamel is. Like the idea that like the average person who's going to enter up this platform for the first time will have any idea who the executive director of the DAO is I think very
Right. But who
overestimated.
knows? We don't know. I mean, I know that like when I did the pizza delivery thing, to sending pizza, the grant to send pizzas to Coindesk was watching. It would be really unfortunate if Coindesk thought that Yemai was Yemel, you know. That would be bad, because then like blogs would be writing stuff that are just completely untrue. Which would be funny, because that could be a thing we could rip Coindesk apart with again in the future. But it's, it is what it is, man. Fuck ups, and we all know that your intent was not malicious. Like,
It's
and it's
slowly
it's
going to
being
become.
blown way out of proportion. And it would be nice for you and Kaze to have like a little private conversation and make peace. I
Uh,
totally appreciate what you're seeking, but it is what it
No, no,
is, right?
I want the opposite. I want Kaze to never be in my DMs for a conversation. I want the exact
I
opposite of a
swear I
direct.
heard you say you wanted an apology. Like,
I mean,
how's
I do want an
anybody?
apology, but I want it in a ticket on a server where he goes, I'm really sorry I DM'd you. That was unprofessional, and I will never do that again. We'll have all of our conversations here. Thank you, and I apologize for my inability to do my job effectively. That's what It's similar. It's a little different though.
Yeah. Well,
But anyway.
if you don't mind, switching topics.
It sounds like this conversation would only make me angrier as it went on, so it seems like a perfectly good time to switch over.
Yeah, I wanna announce. I mean, it's been announced in the past, but I want to announce the comeback of Mo Fire Mondays with Stony Eye, and it's gonna be at Casa Rustan, starting this coming Monday, after On Mondays and before Beyond the NFT. So I hope to see everybody there. It's exciting. I implemented the new Admin Smart tool, was able to get it to connect with coding to multiple screens, which is a really cool thing, thanks to the help of Madamus. And Stony Eye is in control of those screens. So like, I don't even have to be there if he wanted to run it, which is cool, because like if our schedules maybe don't line up, he can just completely take it over and use it. And so, like, hopefully, this is a place that he can run this show for a very long time. So I hope to see you all there on Monday. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
And just to be clear, because
What
you have a
time?
lot of Costa Rustans, it's the one by the Decentraland sign?
Yeah, the Decentraland sign, Casa
The
Rustan. So
OG?
the one by
Oh,
the water is the Riviera. This is Casa Rustan. I've converted it all back to its original state. I updated the Tranquility Spa next door to be a little bit more lightweight, so it loads nicely. I'm doing that like right now as I'm listening to you guys talk, and so like that I intend for that to become kind of like a permanent spot, and that shouldn't change much in the future. And with the hope that maybe someday it can be like a historical location as well, like we were talking about Sugar Club, and then we'll
I
just
don't
build those.
know. Does Costa Rustan qualify as a historical location? We're gonna have to run this by the HOA. I think you should have just done. You should have tried harder, Rustan. Sorry.
I'll keep trying.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll let you know next year.
You didn't submit your form properly.
Shit.
Yeah, you're supposed to pay the $50 first and then submit the form, not submit the form and pay $50. So, I mean, everything else was right except for that part. So, but sadly,
I'm
we have to
assuming I
reject.
don't get that initial $50 back, right? I have to pay another
Mm,
No,
50.
that goes to the processing
no.
fees.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Well, I,
Right.
for one, will say I'm so excited to have Stony at Costa Rustan. It feels like that's kind of where he belongs. So it's like everything, like I don't know why it took so long for the universe to align, but it's pretty cool to hear that. So I'm glad. Like that's gonna be so cool.
Well, like my history with Stony is interesting. So I started in March 2021, and I was there for like Cat 5's earliest DJ sets, and Stony Eye was around. And so to me, like Cat 5 and Stony Eye were like legendary, untouchable, And then when I opened up Casa Rustan and I would bring in Gucci Toe and a couple variety of DJs, New Girl and stuff, they were newer. They were like on my level. And so I could talk to them about like, let's do this, let's do that, and they would be down. And Stony to me is the same, but to me, he was just so legendary. Like I almost felt intimidated to ask if he would DJ at Casa Rustan, and it wasn't until something happened in in the spaces where people were fighting about stuff, about payments. I think it was like a grant proposal about DJs and stuff. And that was the first time that Stony DJ'd at Casa Rustan. We just talked together and we're like, let's just demonstrate like what this can be like. We're like, we just DJ without talking about money and worrying about money, and then let's just put something cool for the absolute love of it, and that's really when Stony and I started to click and realize that we are cut from the same cloth, because Stony's been doing music for decades and I've been creating body painting for decades, and so we've been through the trenches of that and like living without finances. And so we're like really similar in so many ways. And so now after all these years, and just like last month he DJ'd at my live gallery show, and after all these years now, it's just clear that like he belongs at Casa Rustan whenever he wants. It's not like I'm asking him to do it. He like, it's just organic, and he wants to be there, and it just makes sense. And so we're bringing that to the people, for the people, without any BS attached to it.
So, what exact time is your event?
It is 4 p.m. Pacific time. Let me double check though, just to be sure. 4 p.m. Pacific time, an hour before Beyond the NFT. So that is 7 p.m. Yeah, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Monday.
Let's go. Man, I've missed Stony so much.
Yeah,
and
we're
I
gonna have
and
a good time.
I know he's been busy with life as well, and also he's been busy, creating as well. So it's actually a nice surprise. Do you know if he's announced anything about his project yet, Rustan?
I don't know.
Okay,
He
I
mentioned
would like
something
to
to me
talk about.
briefly,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's fully public yet.
Okay, then I'll just stay quiet, and everyone can find out on Beyond the NFT on the 24th.
No, he did announce it, and he said he wanted people to go like retweet and comment on his pinned post. Like he definitely at the event, the CBD event, definitely announced his project, the PFPs he's been working on, which do look very
Okay,
cool.
yes, I thought so too, but I don't know if I've gotten a name yet,
Yeah, I
but
published something.
But you should all go retweet his pinned post and engage because he did ask, and he's a nice man. I've never heard anyone have anything mean to say about Stony, and I mean, and I've had something mean to say about almost everyone. So he must be
Yeah,
doing something right.
Stony and Sultry they're the real deal. I've hung out with them a lot in person. They're really, really kind, really awesome human beings and great parents and great caregivers. They've had to deal with a lot like in real life in the last couple of years as far as like family matters, and they are just like so gracious and kind and beautiful, and I wish the best for those guys all the time.
I have to agree with every single word you just spoke.
And I
And
think they've only made like one wearable that I don't think is fantastic, which is pretty good success rate because even Rustan's made like two wearables. I'm like, I like it because Rustan did it, but Sultry and Stony, man, they just release banger after banger. I'm not good at giving compliments without being comparative and apparently shitty to Rustan. That's crazy. Where'd that come from? But either way, their wearables are fantastic. Are you Vanessa? You guys aren't going to talk about the council member resigning and you guys apparently threatening to sue the committee. I feel like there's some good DAO related
Oh
topics.
yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed they're like hiring a lot of new people in Decentraland. So I don't know if people were let go or if they just have more opportunity now to put out there. Like seems to be a lot of stuff happening.
I was scared by that Ruston because I see there's a new what is it? Graphic designer. So I'm like, no, wasn't that Shibu's job?
Well, he
So
was creative director. I can't remember his
yeah.
actual position.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, I'm happy to talk about it as much as people know. I think there's definitely more that will, a lot of it we don't have answers for. Like, what are the next steps? So happy to talk about it. I am getting like connection issue notifications, but it doesn't seem to be killing my connection. Just like I already told Sin, if I
What's that, Jared? I can't make it out. What, Jared?
ha ha ha. No, it's been happening the whole time. Um, yeah. So like maybe just to address what you said, Ruston, first before we go into it. Um, there's I think a tweet where Foundation is hiring and a job board. So if you are interested, go there. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that before we move on?
I could totally apply. I think that'd be a good use of time.
Do it, Jared. Do it, man.
Well, uh, But yeah, I distinctly for the governance, the Miraz Council stuff. Like, I distinctly remember bringing up. I thought I did it outside of just my DMs with Fez. The fact that there was the pre-existing governance that said like no money could be spent outside of the grant program, and I mean, I still would argue that even if that governance wasn't directly addressed, like any governance, the last governance passed supersedes any previous governance. So like, it does feel as though I don't know. It just feels like this issue should like result in like a proper governance reform where there's like clear, understanding between like what is and isn't, how the governance works, and if like someone needs to be responsible for like calling out conflicting, situations, because hey, that's a job I would be good at. I do know all flaws in the Decentraland governance history, but I just think that I don't know, and I just feel like it's a dishonest position from the committee because like they had ample opportunity in the governance writing process of like the poll, the draft, the final governance to call out this thing that they see as an issue, and then they didn't want to bother doing it until they could like become obstructionists and just further delay progress of the DAO moving forward. And I feel like the ultimately like all they're doing is like increasingly essentially like a Yavel, not a Yavel, an Esteban or someone else with power and the VP to do it just goes like, wait, why do we need to pay these three dudes $7,500 a month to manage this, to co-sign this treasury when we're already paying the council $1,000 a month and they seem more than happy to have the responsibility of multi-signing millions of dollars worth of mana. So I feel like the net result of this is going to just be that they obstruction themselves out of a job, like at least in like half of realities.
Yeah, I mean, collectively, like between the council and the committee, it's $12,500 a month that the DAO is paying out. So, like, whether I'm on the committee, the council or not, like that's a lot of money. And I'm like, oh, I would like to like look closely at that and just, is that a wise use of funds? Yeah, there was enough. I'm saddened by it. Like, I wish we had. Um, I wish that the original proposals, all of them, had been more clear. I think that it's like a learning experience, or future proposals should just address every single. I hate to say like the terms of service that like when you get your customer agreement and it's like 5 pages long and nobody reads it, you just scroll through it and then click accept. But like now I can kind of see why. Okay, there's going to be some little loophole if we're not careful and concise and look through all of it. I think in this case, I mean, there was enough uncertainty on both ends that like I advocate, like I want to have a clear, transparent process where at the end of the day we can feel good that like, hey, we dotted our I's and crossed our T's and we did everything up front where we can see it. And at the same time, the proposal, to restructure the DAO does seem like it made all previous proposals null and void. So now we're in the position where we have 4 council members, and so we will determine what comes next. I'm going to push for another clear and public. I think that this, personally, this is just my opinion. I think the process should just be the same as it was before. The community picks, the next person, but it's too soon to, that's all. That's just what I'm hoping that
Wait,
we can do as we move
am I
forward.
mistaken? I thought that the governance to make the council made it clear that there would obviously be an election similar to the one that already happened to elect a replacement. I, I'm pretty sure that was covered.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. I mean, I just like just stating my personal opinion, like publicly, like
Yeah, I just remember
it's
when
it's
Meta
not
Riot's
been like
post, I was like,
2 years since we went through this. It's like 6 months. It's just really, it's really short term. So, um, it's a time consuming process. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, but that's where we are. So it it's not very constructive just to be like, wow, that's gonna be a lot of work. It's just let's get busy, let's do it. Um, in the meantime, all of the major decisions have already been, put in place. So we'll be fine in the meantime. But um, yeah. Let's see, Dr. Drip, I see you came up. Do you have any input on this, or are you coming up for a different subject? Or welcome, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How is everyone? No, not on this topic. If I kind of wanted to go back and touch on the Jared topic, if I may, if everyone's cool with it. I just wanted to say something about what he brought up about the de-escalation of the moderation team. Um, is that all right?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can jump back and forth and totally.
Jared, is that cool?
I mean, if you're gonna call me like an asshole in public, I probably won't love it, but I'm fine with your opinion being given.
Okay, I'll admit that part. No, I'm just kidding. So okay, it's kind of serious, but like, okay, so Jared knows my opinion about like what happened. We've discussed it in private wildly, and so I'm kind of past that part of it. I think the part that he brings up about the de-escalation methods of the situation might need to be discussed separately from the rest of the situation so that we could kind of discuss how the team is handling things because when I was there I tried to de-escalate. Jared's my friend. I tried to de-escalate it with a little bit of fun and comedy and it just made it worse. So I understand why they would not engage. That's
Well,
oftentimes
to be fair, Doctor, just to clarify the timeline, you had more engaged with me after I'd already spoken with Kaze and he'd already banned me from the Foundation Discord, and what I was already at. The thing I've been upset about is the Discord. I at no point was upset about the ban on the client.
right. Right.
Just to
Let me
clarify.
continue though. Let me continue though. Okay, so I understand, it was really hot at the time, and it was hard to assess how to act. I'm not sure if there's any SOPs in place for handling situations like that. I have no idea. But the part that bothered me was last week at the A Kid Called Beast party. This is like after the fact, right? Like this, it's been a little bit. um, the Discord admin jumped into the party, heckled Jared about, the fascists, and then bailed. And I was like, "What is that, bro? Like, you're a Discord
What?
admin, a moderator." Okay, when I was representing Vroomway as community manager, I acted a whole lot fucking different than I do as a free agent, and I think that's really important too. Especially when there's irony. We're upset about a user misrepresenting themselves as a founder. That's totally valid. But then now we're not paying attention to how our moderators are conducting themselves. And I've spoken with this moderator, not about this topic. We've worked together. We're totally cool. I don't mind this person at all. I know that they have history. Some people in Discord have history with certain users, whether it's Jared or someone else. They have history, and not everyone's just gonna forgive that. But it's kind of a real bummer when Discord or Decentraland employees, I want to call them, are stepping out, like completely out of the scope of what they're supposed to be providing, and that's safety for the community. And this brings up a greater, I guess, discussion topic. Jared, I don't know you that well. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if you have ADD. I don't know if you're allergic to fucking gluten. I don't know. But maybe you're totally normal. That's not the point. But this
I
reminds me of
edited
something
ADHD for
totally
the record.
different. Okay. This reminds me of something totally different here. What are we gonna do when our metaverse is filled with eh, people that are suffering from disabilities, mental disabilities, or have other challenges? And I mean, I barely know how to handle that situation. Like Jared knows, we've gotten into fights about this stuff. But like when the people that are in charge are instigating or making comments that are going to agitate um, potentially a person that may or may not be allergic to gluten or whatever the hell we're talking about. Like if someone has a disability and they're coming into this place to maybe try and be a little bit normal because maybe they can't go outside and be normal, and they're getting agitated by the staff. I mean, yeah, I just feel like
I,
maybe, and I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus or get anyone fired this time or anything like that, but I think maybe our OG team might need new SOPs or maybe a review. Maybe it's been a while since they did their initial, stuff to be a moderator. But I think that people in certain positions like that need to have a lot more patience and they need to know what to do. And maybe it's not putting your finger on the ban button. If it were me, I would love to mute Tobik every time I saw him. But the ban button, we got to think more. If it's a decentralized platform, we need to think differently. I understand for public safety, so that's why these SOPs need to be discussed and decided upon. So that's what I wanted to say. I need to take a drink of water, but thank you for letting me talk about it.
I'll just assume that I was doing something dumb with names and give Kaze the benefit of the doubt. Because I'd like to believe he wasn't starting shit, though I don't recall ever putting on Kaze's name verbatim and then disrespecting myself. But I will just give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not being totally that as bad as what you just described is, because that does maybe. But I'll just live my life assuming that didn't actually happen, because otherwise I get some. I'm mad over way less of a direct personal slight, so I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt on this and imagine it never happened, because I don't remember Kaze directly insulting me. I feel like I would have read it and not forgotten it if it happened.
Dr. Drip, I think you're right. I mean, like, if I think this really just points a big spotlight on like how do we scale customer service, because I think big companies, like, you would never talk to somebody that you know by name at Roblox or any of those. It's going to be outsourced to just anonymous people, and I think that's kind of sadly like what makes a good customer service. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I'm just coming up with it as I'm talking. So maybe I'm going to like backtrack in 20 seconds. But like maybe just that anonymity is what makes customer service work when it can't get personal. But then also like I mean, I worked years in retail. I went through many stupid customer service trainings like you can't let your ego can't be at the table in customer service. You got to check that ego at the door. Like um the customer's always right culture. Like, I don't know if we have to go that far, but I think there's training, definitely training that could be there's so many so many trainings. I just laughed because I had to do one once where like our whole theme was give them the pickle, because it was about a guy that didn't get a pickle, and he was like a CEO, and he like grilled this restaurant and was responsible for them losing millions of dollars in revenue because they didn't put a pickle on the sandwich. So like the whole thing was just give them the pickle, because this might create a bigger problem down the road. But like you were saying, standard operating procedure, so that like it has to be the same. Like you have to walk in there feeling like, yeah, I'm going to get the same service that Jared's going to get, or the next person. And I don't know. Like I don't know that we're there. And just culturally, like, we have people from around the world, so maybe also like this is totally acceptable in my culture to do this, but totally offensive in a different culture. So I think like global cultural sensitivity. I think there's things that we all possibly potentially could do that would offend each other, just because it's like, yeah, that's totally normal. Like you were saying, it's okay for French people to act a certain way. Well, I don't know. I think we all just need to like be kinder or be more patient. I don't know. It definitely is different though when you're getting paid. Like, we should expect more. We're never going to scale. Like, the sad thing is like we could all be working together towards like building this place, building the price of mana, and like there's so much infighting with each other, and now the infighting is in the like the powers that be, and it's disgusting when you look at the bigger picture, and like there's wars, there's real people dying out there. Like, why are we so why can't we get our shit together in the digital world? That's all.
It's just gonna bring us back to the whole like maybe we are descendants from apes or some sort of territorial creature.
There was a really good quote in a book, and it was about growth, and it was the CEO of, what is it, Google, I think. She was offered a job at Facebook, originally, and she said she wasn't sure if she should take it, and her mentor at the time said, if you're offered a seat on the rocket ship, you don't ask what seat, you just get on the rocket ship. And he said it, like, the quote was something about like, when things are moving fast, there's so much room for growth, and nobody has time to bicker and complain because there's so much innovation. And kind of like 2021 and 22 in Decentraland, there's so much going on. Like, we didn't have this much like kind of just bickering and drama because everybody was busy. But then the other part of the quote is like, with stagnation comes politics, infighting, like, and it's so clear that that's what's happening, like, not just this situation, like, but all over. Just, we're not growing fast enough, so people just have time to, I don't know, to do the, yeah, not this so much. I know this is different, but yeah, I don't know what to say. I wish it would have been a different outcome. I think that I thought it was gonna be, honestly.
I mean, could also kind of turn it around into a different perspective, really. And it's like, because like from if that is kind of like what is happening here, then in a way it seems like we've established an issue. It's like, what steps could we take to fix that issue, to make growth? Maybe we should make a community game. Just all of us come together. Let's Canessa, I'll put you the you are tasked with buying a lot of pudgy penguins. We're gonna use their IP and make a game called Angry Pudgies, and we're gonna launch pudgies at
You're not
different
gonna throw
objects
my
and break.
penguin, are you?
No, 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 no.
I mean,
I like this idea, but it should be like a sliding. You slide the pudgies at things, so you're no, it's not aerial. They'll all be remain grounded. But I like the idea of pudgies destroying things.
I like the idea of the sliding. See, we're already
Well,
coming
somebody said
together.
cake in World, so what if they could like be aggressively thrown at a cake, and when they get close, their mouth just like opens like a baby bird, and they just chomp a big piece of the cake. So it's like aggressive but rewarding with cake. Aggressive cake eating. This is like,
Uh,
I was born for this.
yep. So start buying all the pudgies. We're gonna need all that IP. Um, and me, I will work on buying out all my pesky neighbors around like Cantina Village. Canessa, are you open to selling your land? I'll buy
That
it at
I'll
cost.
just I'll just I'll just give it away for free. How's that?
Oh, oh, okay. I mean, like, do I send you my wallet address now or later?
No, you don't. You can just send it now. The just only stipulation, you have to build something on it.
Oh, damn it! Already you got me. Vanessa, you know me too well. Shit. I mean, I could that could be access to like what? Another like 40 lands or
Get
some
building.
shit. Think about think about like the height of my Death Star.
Oh, it's my Death Star, but sure. I think
But
Thanos'
sure,
ship
well,
would be more. Now I want to make Thanos' ship instead of the Death Star.
totally should.
Well, I think to
Uh,
to
I
move
I
back
think
to Doctor Drip, because like I don't want to make light of like, this is, it is like, that is kind of a big deal, like, in, and I don't know how to address it. I don't know. Um, yeah, it seems, it just seems like, man, like, should a meeting be set up? Should it be like, I don't know how to best address that, but
Yeah, I think something like that is a great idea because this kind of goes towards the bigger picture again that I'm seeing, and it's that there's a lot of mistakes being made. What Rustan brought up about the winners getting, a USDC value instead of mana, like they, I was one of them. I was supposed to get like $500 in mana for my prize, and I got that much mana in dollars. So I got $900 more than I was supposed to get, and I was the first one to send it back when they asked. They reached out and asked us, and they made it sound. I literally said to the DevOps team or whatever that I was like, you know, this is a pretty big mistake. And they just handled it so lightly, and they continued conversation after I sent it back until I sent it back, and then they started ghosting me with our casual conversation. We were talking about other stuff in Decentraland, but I think mistakes like that are a real bummer. I was surprised that Rustan brought it up in public because it seemed like they wanted to sweep the mistake under the rug, and a l- everyone did send it back. Um, that I think that I mean, looking at it, it was sad. First of all, it hurt. It felt good to do the right thing, obviously, and then a few minutes later, it started to hurt. I was like, I could have made $900 more, and then to knowing that money, like that was a lot of money that was in that mistake. So I was thinking about it. I was like, if this was like $100 more, they might just let it go, right? They might just be like, oh, that was our mistake. It cost us. We overpaid everyone by $100, but there was a lot of money out there that was in that mistake, and to sweep that under the rug, I think that's kind of weird too. So I would chop it up to mistakes, and mistakes happen, and whether people are new or they're OGs and they're just kind of lax right now, but like I think that some of these mistakes need to be logged and they need to be discussed, because if that mistake was bigger, let's say it was a large scale, we had tons of users and we were doing this huge thing, and those kind of mistakes were happening, we could drain the wallet on accident doing a mistake like that. And the worst part is it was all from a multi-sig wallet. So this was not one person's mistake. That's why I'm just like, what? Like what? These mistakes can't. We got to get back on track. Like you said, they're getting paid, and there's not many people out there. So yeah, we should be getting a little bit more out of just the way that they're doing things. I'm not going to say their job is easy, but I just think that they that it's not that hard to get onto a structured, um, or I guess more checked, if they need more checks and balances, and things that are going to keep them from making mistakes. I'm not sure, but we need to make those SOPs. Someone needs to make those SOPs, and they need to get their stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak from experience. I myself have made mistakes. Like, yeah, and I think slow down. And I mean, like when I was working as the ambassador coordinator, luckily, again, one of the same people in this. So I thank them for their patience. But yeah, it is easy to do, and I think I'm like thinking, how can you prevent this? And I think, in partial in ways, like it's the complication of like crypto versus USD. So like how do because I'm like, wait, I feel like we should be okay with that by now. We should know how to convert, but at the same time, we all have different levels of like familiarity with converting. But maybe there just needs to be even more of a standard form of like double triple check like mana, USD, like which one it is. um yeah, I don't know, but I
No,
mean, it's
no,
that human element is still there, even if we're in crypto and it's blockchain and it's transparent. It's we're the faulty link in that.
sorry, I keep cutting you off. No, you're exactly right, and you bring up the exact point. The reason I think it's such a big deal to sweep issues like this under the rug is because by bringing it up, you can find what the issue is. And sure, there was user error in there, but this might bring up a bigger issue to another team. What did they use to send it? Were they and it is was it a tool on our side, or were they just sending? They're probably just sending it straight from the wallet. But let's say that they were sending it through let's just say that they were sending it through a Decentraland tool that sent mana. Let's just say that it had a swap, like you click send mana or send, in dollars. Maybe it displays it in dollars. Maybe there's an issue with people getting confused and some sort of bottleneck at that. People think they're sending dollars when they're sending mana. Maybe there's an issue. And if that is a Decentraland tool, that's something that we need to improve upon. Now, again, I'm going to go back and say, I don't think they were used. I don't think there is a tool on the Decentraland website or backend that does that. I think and maybe they're doing it through smart contracts. I don't think that's the case either. I'm pretty sure they were just sending through the Genosis safe or whatever. But again, to bring this up, sweeping it under the rug was not the right answer, because, and maybe they didn't. Maybe they're all discussing this at their team meetings. I'm just saying it's how it seemed. I hope that they are bringing it up and discussing what happened so that it doesn't happen again. I think it's probably even safe to assume that they are, but I just wanted to bring it up and say that point out the importance of that.
I agree, Dr. Drip, 100%. And I'm happy that you came up and kind of brought this up as a topic as well. Yeah, there are a lot of things that could be done better, and having conversations could possibly help them. I mean, like I'm over here thinking on what could I do to make these processes better? And and just like off the top of my head, and I don't even know if it would help. Like just start clipping these certain moments during our conversations on these spaces and sending them over to whoever would listen, Dr. Krillo, Kim, Dana, whoever. So yeah,
Yeah, that's actually a really great idea too. I thought you were gonna say something like, "What rules could I come up with?" And I was like, "No, dude. Like AI could come up with all that. It could come up with a bunch of different scenarios and a bunch of different, like, to find out what's the wrong method and what's the right, like." But no, you came up with a really great way of how you could help. And yeah, of course, dude. I wanted to jump up here and talk about this just because, like, I made a comment in the comments of this space, and it just seemed like I was throwing tomatoes. So I want to get up here and explain it, like, thoroughly, so it just didn't seem like I'm being some hater.
For sure, for sure. And you do bring up a very valid and you do bring up a very valid point. Like 50% of the part of like the whole here, we need to get like the actual entity like within the conversation. And maybe there are like technicalities within their corporate structure or whatever that doesn't let them do this, but like this other thing could be done. I don't know. Like, but I think it's important to get them in the conversation as well.
I think it is overwhelming when you're working with a multi-sig wallet and you're getting used to it. And I mean, you should have seen my spreadsheets when I was making like ambassador payments. It was like, okay, this person, this how well, and that was a different level of insanity because then I had to take receipts from each person's native layers of complexity. So there is a learning curve for sure, and I think that it's also just like I've sent wearables to the wrong addresses. I've sent like a mythic wearable once. I was sending it to my alt, and then I was like sending out wearables to other people. So I sent it to somebody in the community, and I was like, "Oh man, like, hey buddy, would you mind sending my mythic back?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And it was awesome, but it could have definitely gone a different way. So yeah, just something. Just it is complicated. And just a thought, I see, welcome. I think you're a new speaker in our space. How are you today?
All right, I just wanted to get up here and say, if there's an opening in the community, vote for me because I have an opening in my community.
Awesome. Thank you. Sounds good.
I just wanted to also add to what you said. Yeah, it could have been a mistake, and this totally could have been, someone that is brand new. Again, mistakes happen. I'm not saying people need to get fired from it. I'm just saying that it should be, it can help create SOPs that will prevent it from happening in the future. And in my experience with Genosis Safe, I used to, when I was part of the Roomway team, I was part of the required wallets on the Genosis Safe. And the rules that Nikki and I came up with and agreed upon were that we couldn't operate the wallet without being in a Discord call together. And it was really easy because every Friday we'd have an event and we'd be in a Discord call and listening to the music and chilling and um, but when it came to time to pay the DJs, just $100 or $200 or whatever the rate was at the time, um, we might be talking, we might be we might be taking photos, but we would stop whatever we were doing to say, hey, a transaction needs to go out for the DJ. Here's the DJ's name. Here's the DJ's wallet, ends with these last digits. Here's the amount going out. Like that, we would stop everything to, and then the other person would say, okay, that all sounds exactly right. And then we would sign it together. Um, so like things like that was it was like religion. Like that was the rule. Like whatever you're doing, shut up, a transaction's going through, and you listen and verify all the details are right. So I'm not saying that mistakes couldn't have happened. I don't remember a single mistake that did. I really liked that multi-sig wallet functionality. But yeah, to just reiterate my point, I really think that can help improve so that these situations don't happen again.
I mean, from just the nature of the multi-sig wallet itself, it means that like each person that is due to sign should like review the transaction as well and make sure that it's correct on each level. So, yeah, I mean, and I mean, yeah, definitely. Like money is being handled here. Um, maybe it's just what would be like lack of crypto financial etiquette, maybe like maybe it just hasn't been found yet.
I think it's just maybe um I don't know. I think we just move fast and break stuff. I think slowing down and like you said, like slowing down and then going through like step by step, like almost slow motion. Like what is this for? Who is it for? Is it dollars or mana? Like anytime mana's involved, it should be like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that there's that human element is just it's easy to make mistakes. And I know I've made lots of mistakes in my life. And like I guess the thing with blockchain is it's all transparent. And so probably in like non-blockchain worlds, like there's the same level of mistakes. It's just you hide them real easy. But in this world, it's just you can't hide it. It's there. Thankfully, we have honest people who sent it back. So I guess that maybe that's the silver lining is being like, oh wow, we have cool, talented community members who are also honest and talented.
Yeah, I to be honest, I thought that was really cool.
I think honesty goes a long way, to tell you the truth, and honest action as well. So yeah, I mean, big ups to everyone, that everyone that needed to send the cash back for being overpaid for the contest. Like that is a really cool like collective thing that like happened there. And I mean, I'm assuming there weren't any conversations between any of like the people that got overpaid, like, oh yeah, let's all give it back or anything. I feel like it all happened kind of, individually and natural. So I mean, I think it shows a lot about the group of people that we hang around with on the internet. So, like shifting the topic back slightly, just because I see Judas down there in the audience. We were talking about you earlier, or I had brought you up earlier. And I wasn't sure if it was you that did this. Maybe you could comment or come up and to speak and clarify, but like, were you the person that made kind of like a graffiti wall in Decentraland? Like, make it so you could like just draw, like, start spray painting pixels on a wall, and yeah, and also if you were, is that code like available? Earlier we were Canessa was mentioning her trip to what was it, Boise,
Boise.
Idaho?
Yeah, and it had like there's like a
Boise, Idaho.
famous graffiti wall there that really talented graffiti artists put there. So I was like, man, we should have that in Decentraland, something similar ish.
Yeah, so I mean, if you know anything about that, help, please point in the right
Okay, how
direction.
about this? To take it one step further, what if it's a screen that looks like a brick wall and it's in the creator hub and then anybody can put that in their build? So like we could be here on the cantina and then there could be the signature wall and then people could just go and like draw on it. I have no idea if that's possible or not, but like I bet everybody would put that on their wall. Of course, then we'd have all the stick figure PPs drawn, but maybe AI censors anything that looks like Okay, this is gonna be fun. I want to make that. I want to make that software. Like
Good thing Rustan didn't
any,
hear that.
yeah, anything that looks like this or this
Okay.
or this.
It was when she did that like that giant tree build with a quest on it. At the end there was a party at the top and you could draw on this pixel wall. And I have a
Yeah.
screenshot of my naked person that I drew.
Okay. So it was KJ. Maybe I'll have to ask KJ. But but like, yeah, I don't remember using that thing. I don't know if it was because my Decentraland was like acting funny that day. Uh, but um, but like the example that I was like looking at was like pre, like, just not deployed in world, kind of like in the test environment. So that's why I was like thinking Judas, but like, yeah, I definitely need to contact KJ. Thank you, Rustan. And I want to say hello to some people in the room that have popped in while we've been chatting along, like JK47. Thank you for pulling up. There's Fermion, Mew Mew. So nice to see you. Juliana, Make, and Pinch are here. Awesome party last night. Sorry I was being a bitch last night. I was so tired. And let's see. I think I did say hello to Mariana. Always have to say hello to Mariana. Uh, and yeah, so happy to see you all in here. I'm currently having a smoke outside, so I'm not in front of my computer. But thank you to everyone that it's also chilling in Decentraland. Um, but going back to the Decentraland job postings, I, I don't know. I like, I see these open positions and I'm just like, do I fit in that? Like there was one for like partnership or talent finder or some shit like that. Like I'm like sitting over here. I'm like, with all the friends that I have made in Web3, I mean, like, would that be like kind of a position or for me, or is my network not big enough for this? I think now I'm just rambling. No, I don't hear anyone. I'm gonna go down and come back up.
Check, check, check. Yo.
All right, now I hear you.
I don't think anyone was talking.
Oh, oh, lol. I was seeing your mic go turning on and off, but yeah. Then I guess that might be our signal to start winding down the space. What do you think, Vanessa? Um,
Yeah, is her mic stuck?
I think maybe. Let me check my DMs. She's probably. Oh, alrighty. So I guess that concludes our Twitter space for today. Week 158 in the books. And yeah, it was a good conversation. So I'm happy that we can speak about it every week. We can all come together. And yeah, everyone here that is currently listening, just know that you're always welcome in the conversations. Your opinions are valid, and yeah, I mean, we just share thoughts and ideas. Yep, now you have audio. Yes, it's Mew. I'm thinking, should I throw on some fork knife? Yeah, fork knife, fork knife. Rustan's naked picture crashed us. All right, here. Let me throw on a little bit of music. I'm gonna boot up my.
By God is my witness. He knows I'm gonna get it. Take care of the fam, that's forever the business. I'm rich with my family and rich with his millions. Keep it a buck, I can't do no pretending. Tell the city that I'm on. Tell your friends I put on. I'm from the H where they do people wrong, and there's too many bitches be looking like clones. Regardless of what, she gon' fuck cause I'm on. She call me a dog, well I guess she the bone. Her man getting mad cause she won't leave me alone. But I'm on my grind, getting money, I'm gone. Ayy. Metro Boomin, want some more, nigga. Automatics, in the trunk. Shoot the maggots with the pump. Thought it natty, love the paddock on my arm. He got static, pussy nigga run your charm. Ghostface killers, Wu-Tang, 21 News Gang. Drug dealers in the Mustang, at the top of the food chain. Trapping the cocaine, no game. Shooter with no names, we can play toe games. The whole game, kicking your dough, man. Yeah. Put on the paddock, pop it, said it, I'm an addict. Break the mattress with a battery on the attic. Diamond glasses, need some glasses for the flashes, yeah. Michael Jackson with the fashion, bitch, I'm dabbing, yeah. I do this shit on purpose.
Alright, I just released the Weasel. Zom, you never got your anniversary shoes? Alright, man, one second here. I'm gonna send those motherfuckers over to you, my friend. How about Toria? Did Toria get her CPD shoes, Zom? Because I know you're definitely at the event. You popped up both days. And I really appreciate that, dog. Alright, here. Let me mint you a pair right now.
Shoot the maggots with the pump. Thought it natty, love the paddock on my arm. He got static, pussy nigga run your charm. Ghostface killers, Wu-Tang, 21 News Gang. Drug dealers in the Mustang.
She got hers? Okay, cool.
No game, shooter with no names. We can play toe games, the whole game, kicking your dough, man.
Ready? Zom, I just minted a pair of shoes over to you. Thanks for letting me know. And yeah, anyone else that hasn't received their shoes either, let me know. And here, let me log into Decentraland on my second PC real quick. For some reason, nothing ever works for me, right? Dude, I mean, it seems like there's like certain like individuals, like for example, like I feel like you know, you like sometimes I do see this always happening to you, but then I always see this happening to like One Exist. Like a lot of times stuff doesn't work great for One Exist. I wonder what's like what it could be if it's. Because I know you got a decent setup, Zom. What up, Audio Hot Labs? Welcome. Well, I know you've been here, my friend. Alright.